You got to keep on playing, no matter with who. This is that thing you do. So we have on a very special guest. We were just talking off mic about this being one of my longest friendships. Someone I've known my entire adult life through my best and worst years, mostly my worst. He is a musician currently living out in LA. We met in the Hudson Valley. We're both from the area 15 years ago. So I'm happy to welcome my old pal, Daniel Grimsland, to the show. Welcome, Dan.
Woo! Thank you guys for having me. Happy to be here.
Dan is a loyal listener to the show as well. So honored. And for those of us who listened to the Sinners episode, he did the stinger music and his the little blues breakdown that we had in the Sinners episode. That was also Dan who gave that to me gratis. So appreciate you. How you doing today, Dan?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk about this movie. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
And where can you be found? Where would you have any upcoming projects, and where do you want to be found?
So you can find me streaming it anywhere you stream your music at Daniel Grimsland. I'm on Instagram and other social media at Daniel Grimsland and danielgrimsland.com as well.
Perfect. And this is airing April 7th, so if you want to, do you have any gigs in the LA area around that time, you can throw them in here as well.
April 7th.
Yeah.
I think I'll
Whip
be...
out that calendar, baby.
Let's see. I'll be playing Good Times at Davey Wayne's with Albert Cass. I'll be playing bass in his band. I think that'll
sick.
be the next thing coming up. And then, and then my birthday's on the 10th. So.
I know.
Grandpa.
Right after
Happy
mine.
birthday.
Aries gang gang.
That's right. Yeah, right. Yours is coming up. A couple days, right?
Yeah, it's it's Monday.
Yeah.
It's Monday. Woof. So Lindsay, what did we pick today?
We picked That Thing You Do. This is its 30th anniversary. It's written and directed by Tom Hanks. And it stars Tom Everett Scott as Guy Patterson, Steve Zahn as Lenny, Jonathan Sheck as Jimmy, Ethan Embry as the bass player, Liv Tyler as Faye, and Tom Hanks as Mr. White. And what happens in this movie?
A rock band from Erie, Pennsylvania rises to fast fame in the early 1960s. So why did we pick this movie, Dan? Or why did you pick this movie specifically?
It's it's maybe one of my favorite movies of all time. I've probably seen this movie the most out of any movie that I love. In particular, like I was of the right age when this movie came out. I was like 11 or 12 years old and had just started playing music in bands and stuff like that. And so this movie, really kind of hit home for me at the time that it came out. And like kind of like looking into a strange future about bands and how it plays out, when you're in a band. And I kind of always knew that about this movie, and I don't know, made me love it more. I wanted to watch it over and over again.
That was some early wisdom
Yeah.
imparted upon you. You were like, oh shit, what? Is that what it's like?
Yeah, totally.
That's such a good age, too. Like, possibly the perfect age you could have first started watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had like just started tinkering around with drums too. So this was like, as soon as I
Wow.
saw this, I was like, oh man, I want to play drums so bad.
All right, Shane.
Oh, that's
All
literally
right.
me.
He's just like me for real. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I didn't realize you had seen this like right when you were starting to play music. That's a perfect, yeah, like she said, that's a perfect time to see this, because it's like, it's a good movie that shows like the pitfalls that can arise out of being in the music industry without that super harsh, it's not as scary as a lot of music biopics.
Right.
Or,
There's no drug overdoses or like anything
literally.
crazy like that.
Yeah, Tom was like, this is going to be wholesome. I was like, okay, I think that's why it really resonated with like millennials and really young Gen Z. Like people our age love this movie, like obsessed with it. And I think part of that is probably because we were exposed to it so young.
Yeah.
I saw it for the first time on VH1 because it was always re-airing on VH1. This movie was on TV like every goddamn day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, all right, I might as well. I might as well watch it again. It's only an hour and 45 minutes, something like that. It's just such a breeze to watch. And do you remember this, Dan? I had to look it up to make sure I wasn't going crazy, but the cast talked about it in the oral history as well. Do you remember the 24-hour marathons of this movie? Or did you own it?
I mean, yeah, I owned it. Like I bought it on VHS almost like immediately.
Okay.
I didn't realize that they were doing these 24-hour marathon. When I read that, I was like, what? I missed that at some point.
Oh, damn. I was like, am I making this up or did this movie play literally on a loop on VH1 at certain points? And the answer is yes.
And it did. Wow.
Why do you think certain movies do that?
From what I remember, it's because they were really cheap. When television studios just needed to buy a movie and just hit play and repeat on it, it costs like next to nothing to just do, like the USA Network used to do that all the time when we were kids.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like A Christmas Story every year would play on TNT 24 hours.
They still do that.
That's crazy.
They still fucking do that. I checked. Like last Christmas, I was like, does TNT still do 24-hour Christmas Story? They do.
Wow.
So it's a way for people to just like hit a button, hit play, and then just walk away for, a long weekend, basically.
Right.
Broadcast television, you had to fill every single hour with something, so they would just fill it with cheap movies, which this one I guess was, because I also didn't realize until I started doing the research for this episode. This movie kind of bombed. This was not like a successful movie at all at the box office.
I believe it.
I didn't. I was like, what do you mean?
I felt like I was like the only person who knew about this movie when I was young. Like I was like showing it to all my friends and stuff. No, it seemed like no one knew about this movie when I was growing up.
I just assumed everybody had seen this movie and that everybody loved this movie. I was like, what do you mean it bombed? Yeah, totally different experience with it. I never saw it in theaters or anything, but I just assumed it's Tom Hanks. So I thought like, oh, it's a big hit because he was the most like famous actor in the world at that time, besides like Julia Roberts. So I was like, yeah, why wouldn't this be a big hit? But what do I know? And Lindsay, what's your experience with this?
This was my first watch.
Oh, cool.
Which feels really crazy. Like I don't know how I possibly haven't, or maybe I've seen like parts of this before, but like I definitely have never just sat down and watched this whole thing. So first time.
That's insane.
I thought Tom Hanks was going to be in it a lot more. Like I thought his role was going to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, that surprised me on a rewatch too. How he doesn't show up, I think, until he doesn't show up until 35 minutes in, something like that. He's only in about half the movie, maybe less, and that first 35, he's not on screen at all. I don't remember it that way. But yeah, what did you think for your first viewing?
I really liked it. I
Nice.
don't really. There's definitely not movies out there like this, and I'm gonna be so honest. I thought it was weird. I thought this was a really weird movie.
It is a weird movie. You're totally right.
In what way? What do you mean?
I think I learned to love Guy Patterson by the end, but in the beginning when it started, I was like, this is who the movie's about? This like awkward, cringy teenage boy who I don't know. It's just a really interesting movie to me. I'm really curious to hear you guys' thoughts. I really liked it though. Like let me say that. I really liked it. And I think it really flipped for me maybe like the last 45 to 30-ish minutes. I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm seeing like the depth that Tom Hanks has and what he brought to the movie. So
So it was like a slow burn for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
And what were some of your thematic takeaways from your first viewing?
I said loyalty and love and passion for music. Like,
Absolutely.
I think it very much feels like more of Guy's story, and he's just loyal to the craft.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like the best representation of a one-hit wonder, which is just really cool to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So Guy wasn't working for you, huh?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but he really wasn't.
And what do you think about that, Dan?
Yeah, I'm so scared now.
No, I 100% get it. I get it 100%. Fuck you, Lindsay, first of all. No, I get that 100%. There kind of isn't like a cool guy lead character in this movie.
Which I love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And and in particular, the Tom Everett Scott character, like I noticed it more so on this watch than I ever did before. Like he's like he's like doing weird quotes and weird voices, and he's like kind of a silly guy. He's
weird, and he has this, at least in the very beginning, he has this really performative act that he gives to everyone.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a performative male prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the car scene of him and Charlize like going or coming back was like so cringy to me.
Right. He completely ignores her question.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, my band. You're going to come see my band, right?
God, I'm guilty of that. I'm so guilty of doing that.
I was going to say, damn, shots fired.
I'm so guilty of doing that.
Yeah, so my band.
Anyways, back to my band.
So anyway, I was the next show I have booked is.
God love you. No, I'm all here for it. Oh my God. What about you, Dan? What is your biggest takeaway over the years and from your first experience with it too?
A lot of it is like what I've always kind of taken away from this movie is the representation of like the reality of the music business. Of, like the reality is like your band's probably not going to make it. Even if you have levels of success, when that's over, there's not really anything left. It's not like the reality is there's not always another record waiting for you or another tour or another whatever. And I like how they...
Yeah, you've been through that.
Yeah,
for
sure.
The ups and downs for decades.
Absolutely. And, what I like about this movie and what I think is true to that experience too is like some of that stuff is awesome and fun. And like you wouldn't trade it for anything. Like just because it didn't necessarily quote unquote work out after it was done. It's like at the end of the movie when Liv Tyler is like, none of this would have happened if you hadn't joined the band, and I mean that in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because we got to have this wild experience that like, and what's important is, and what should be kept special is like that you had that experience, not that it didn't pan out afterwards.
That's so
that's beautiful.
That's so beautiful. I'm just getting emotional thinking about it. I've been watching Dan play since like 15 years ago. Like we met before I really knew that you were like okay, I'll put it this way. I knew you were a musician when I met you, but I didn't know you were actually good. So you know how every like girl in town is like, my boyfriend's in a band. Like I'd met your girlfriend at the time first, and she's like, my boyfriend's in a band. I was like, okay. Like I'm from the area. Like every fucking girl's boyfriend is in a fucking band in upstate New York. Like we have a huge music scene. We're both from like, this, Lindsay, but for the audience, we're both from the Woodstock area, and Dan has played in Woodstock many a time. So I have like a little bit of a like hesitation when I hear that like, oh, I'm a musician. I'm like, okay. And I'm like bracing myself. But I remember seeing you actually play for the first time and being like, Holy shit, that's my bartender?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was like, wait a minute, you're actually good? You gotta see him sometime, Lindsay. I really want to take Lindsay out to LA.
Oh, you should.
Oh my gosh, please.
It'd be awesome.
I've
So
really,
many things I need to see.
Dan showed me around LA for the first time 2 years ago, and I had the time of my life, dude. I was like, here's the 2 things I want to do. And he's like, I got you. Get in the car.
Let's go look at some heat.
Let's go look at the locations from Heat, and let's go eat tacos and see a fucking movie.
Hell yeah. Lindsay, it was funny. Like Marquita was like, I really want to see, some of the filming locations from Heat, and coincidentally, one of them is directly behind my house. So
Wow.
I was like, just look over there.
Oh my gosh.
I started screaming, Lindsay. I was like,
funny, funny you mention. You just
he's
peek
like,
your
oh,
head.
that right there?
Oh my gosh.
I was
Wow.
screaming. But yeah, I just want you to get the full experience, because I'm not like an ass kiss, and if I didn't mean this, I wouldn't say it, but he's one of the best musicians I've ever seen.
Man, you're sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. But I mean it. Like, and I'm a picky bitch, and I don't like most things. I don't like most people. So, like, for a man to tell me like, "Oh, I'm a musician," and for me to be like, "Damn, you're really fucking good, and I respect what you do, and I want to like be a part of it." There was like a time in our lives where like I wasn't anyone's girlfriend in the band, but I was very much the fae in like the story of a lot of Dan's like early musicianship. Would you say?
The
Absolutely.
extension.
That's a good way of putting it. Is you were the fae without obviously none of us ever dated or whatever, but like
Yeah.
but yeah, you were always around and kept things like fun and light and inspiring, and yeah, we loved having you around.
Man. I was like very loyal. I was loyal to the craft as just like a friend and a fan. I was
You
like,
were always
what
at
do you
the
need?
shows, man. It was awesome. Yeah, and
I was
yeah,
always
of course,
at
as
the
a friend
shows.
as well, outside of all
Yeah.
that.
Yep. Like I was like, load in, load out, merch. What do you need? I got you. I was selling tickets. I was selling merch. Like I rode really hard for a lot of a lot of the musicians in our area back home, because everyone's just so talented, and I feel like this movie really represents that that fun aspect about music that you touched on a little bit, Dan, where like just a regular ass person at like the grocery store could be like the most talented fucking singer you've ever met in your life, and you're like, what are you doing here? Like just very like working class roots too.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters that we meet at the beginning of the movie, everyone's just like a regular guy.
Yeah.
And I love that. And you very much were like fitting into that too. Have you had any, like, speaking of regular dude stuff, what was your favorite, like, not favorite, but what was your best like side job, like just kind of fuck around job to support your music career? If you've had any, besides bartending, of course, the classic.
I've had so many. I've been all kinds of different things. I was a house painter for years. I was a bartender for years. But no, I honestly, when I moved to LA, I started walking dogs, mostly because I left my dog in New York because I wasn't sure like what the living situation was going to be. So my sister adopted my dog, and I came to LA without one. And finding out that was like a legitimate job that you could get was just like taking care of people's dogs and taking them for walks and stuff. Man, I loved it. You want to talk about someone being psyched when you show up for work? No one is more psyched than the dog you're about to walk when you walk in the door.
That's so cool. And it's such like you're fucking great with animals, but it's also such like a flexible way to make money. Like it works for people who are home in the middle of the day.
Totally.
So you can do whatever you want to do at night, like play gigs and travel and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and you get outside and you get some exercise, and
that's true.
It's great.
Get some fresh air. Yeah, that's a sick side job. I'm trying to get a job like that right now. Just something I can do so I can stay home and watch movies.
Yes.
Please hire me.
Come on.
Come on.
Is there a job like that? What job is there like that? Can we just get you to watch movies all day and get paid for it?
I don't know. I'm trying to find jobs to fuel my creative passion. Yeah. I think I would like to not lose my job every year.
Yeah.
So working on that. But yeah, I think something that really stuck out to me about this movie as far as like themes and impact, I like the way that this movie shows each band member's personality and how fame affects all of them just a little bit differently, you know? And you've been a part of bands when they've like hit it big or joined bands that were already like on the bigger side, right, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
So like the way that just a little bit of fame and a little bit of attention and a little bit of money, what happens to everybody's personalities and their morals when those external influences are applied upon a person. I always think it's so interesting and such a weird kind of Rorschach test of who are you really once people are paying attention to you and you have money, and just heightens what was already within a person. So I thought this movie showed that in a really great way without, like I said, getting super dark.
Yeah, freaking Jimmy.
Jimmy. Oh my God, he's such a tool, man. Like,
Yeah.
We'll get to him, but he gets on my goddamn nerves.
I still find it interesting that he calls everyone butts. Which one of you butts said we're engaged?
Jimmy gets on my goddamn nerves.
PG movie, I guess, you to call people butts.
Oh, it is PG. That's right. That's right. See, this is for the Christian kids.
Come on, that's right. That's why I saw it so many times growing up. I was allowed to see it. It was one of the few movies I was allowed to see.
Meanwhile, by that age, I was watching like Silence of the Lambs and Seven.
Me at 11 years old watching The Black Swan.
Oh, deep. That is a rough one for an 11-year-old, huh?
Yeah, we were hardcore, Dan.
I know.
We were hardcore.
I couldn't, I was scared of the devil. I didn't want to let him in.
You were scared of the devil.
He was going to get me in the night if I watched too many of those movies.
Oh my God. When you explained to me like how religion made you so scared of everything for so long, I was like, I don't understand. What do you mean?
That's good. You're lucky.
Scared of what?
Oh, everything. That you can and that you cannot see.
He's like, don't you ever feel guilty? I was like, about what?
Anything you do?
No.
Everything you do?
No.
That's good.
Never in my life. Can't relate.
That's good.
I'm guilty.
I need people like you in my life, Keita. Like, just talk me out of feeling
get
that
up
way.
There.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You were very helpful.
I coached you through many a crisis.
You sure did. You absolutely did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My mom is always like, you don't want to be, but you're like a reluctant therapist friend. And I'm like,
You're good at it. You're good at listening and you're good at giving advice.
Thank you.
And talking
I just like
people down from their God fears.
Oh, like, fuck that shit. Oh God, thank you guys. So what else did you notice about this movie, Lindsay? Like what was sticking out to you?
I guess how loyal Guy was to not only the band but just music. Like immediately dropping everything that he was doing. He was like, yeah, I'm in this band now. Like, I don't have time to do this.
Go off and bang on your bongo drums.
Go bang on your little bongo drums. I almost had that as the opening quote for the episode, but I couldn't say it without laughing, so I changed it.
Sorry to interrupt. That was one of my favorite lines.
That's so funny. But yeah, I know we've both known like many a person like that in our lives who's just like, all right, like I got called up to the big leagues. I'm going on tour, like quit my job, get rid of my apartment, dump my girlfriend, whatever, and just leave. Sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah. I know everyone mentioned just the jazz scene, but him spending his off time just going to bars and listening to music and just appreciating it outside of being a performer.
Yes. I think that is a very, very big unspoken part about being a creative person, I'd say. It's not just the creating, it's like relishing in other people's creations and supporting your like creative friends. Wouldn't you agree, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. He has a love of music. He's not afraid to show it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things is the him playing in the basement every night, like putting on the record, just jamming along to the record.
Very, very Whiplash coded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an interesting thing I learned during this is how influenced Damien Chazelle was by this movie. I had no idea.
Yes.
It makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a fucking light bulb went off when I had already seen La La Land and Whiplash and even Babylon. And when I was reading the oral history, at the very, very, very end of it, Damien Chazelle pops up in the oral history interview, and he's like, "Yeah, this movie meant everything to me growing up, and this is why this, and this is why I cast Tom Everett Scott in La La Land." And I was like, "Oh, right!" And Whiplash is the drummer, and
Yeah.
never crossed my mind.
Yeah, me either.
That's crazy, the influence of this movie. That's why I didn't know it was a flop. Insane. For this episode, we're going to change things up a little bit, Dan. I've peppered in like just funny on-topic questions throughout.
Great.
So be on guard for that. But
of course.
We're going to have some questions related to this movie just because I'm curious. We've had professional musicians on before, Sleepless Cinematic. They're music teachers in New York City, but we mostly kept it movie related. We didn't ask them a lot about touring and like that side of things. So you're going to be our music guy this episode.
Happy to.
So my first question is, have you ever had a Chad moment? And for those who haven't seen the movie, can you explain who Chad is in this movie? And why he's not in most of this movie.
Another one of my favorite lines, guys. Chad fell down.
Chad fell down.
So Chad is is their drummer, right? For those who don't know, Chad was their drummer, and then there's a scene where they're trying to come up with a band name, and they're standing on the sidewalk, and he's leaping over parking meters, and he falls and he breaks his arm.
Who amongst us?
Chad just broke his arm.
So have you ever had a dumb injury like that kept you from performing?
So luckily it didn't keep me from performing, but there was a time where my partner Siobhan and I just celebrated 11 years the other day. And in the beginning of our relationship, I just turned 30, and I was like, I think this is a good time for me to start skateboarding again. It's been a long time since I've skateboarded. Now I'm 30.
Right.
Let's get into it. Come on, let's get back into it.
I forgot about this.
Yeah. The reality is I always sucked at skateboarding. I was never a good skateboarder.
Me too.
So I thought...
Too tall, too clumsy.
Yeah, I'm too dumb. I thought, I'll get a longboard. That'll be good. Longboard will be better. And I was doing it for a little while, and I was feeling myself. I was feeling good about myself. I was doing it. I was like, I'm back, baby. I'm better than I ever was. And so at the time when Siobhan and I first started dating, she lived at this place that had a super steep driveway that went out into the road. And so I was hanging out there, and I was like, I'm going to bomb this driveway on my skateboard. This is going to be awesome. She's going to think this is so cool.
She's gonna be so impressed.
And I got on the skateboard. I started going down the hill, and I was very quickly going very fast, and realized in like a split second before I ate shit that there's no way I can turn this skateboard at the bottom of the driveway, and I'm gonna go right into that tree if I don't turn the skateboard. And so I tried to turn the skateboard kicked out from underneath me, and I hit the pavement and rolled and slid and fucked myself up big time. And shamefully walked back up the driveway with my skateboard under my arm covered in blood and rocks, and was like, I fell down.
I fell.
And
Dan fell down.
I fell down, and Siobhan was like, "Oh my god!" And they like put me in her shower, and I was in there just like, "Ow, ow!" trying to wash the rocks out of my arm and shit. And that was, of course, like a few days before I had a show. So I did play the show, but if you see pictures from that show, I'm visibly like bandaged all the way up my arm. I've got like, I'm all fucked up.
God, I totally forgot about that. Oh, perfect. Thank you for that.
Dan, what were some other themes you were picking up on?
Well, I realized, how quotable this movie is, and like how much I've made it a part of my personality. Like I quote it all the time and don't realize, like Nito in particular. I'll Nito. I say that all the time. It's like such a throwaway part of the movie, and for some reason it has always stuck with me ever since I was a kid that I say Nito.
I never noticed that. Oh,
it's when the Aaron Burr guy. Remember that commercial? He ate peanut butter. He couldn't say Aaron Burr. That's why I know that actor. But from an obscure '90s commercial,
it
was a Got Milk commercial. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I knew that.
I do
guy.
remember that.
Yeah, it's when they make a record and he goes up to the table and he's like, "Is this is a record of the band that's tonight?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Nito," and then he walks away. For some reason, I wasn't that. Yeah, but I noticed that kind of stuff, how it just kind of has become a weird part of me. Oh yeah, and then a lot of locations that I noticed this time around. Now that I've been in LA for a long enough time, watching it this time, I'm like, it's like all these things that I see all the time. Like Pittsburgh is actually downtown Los Angeles. The fairgrounds is Pomona Fairgrounds. This is like a place I've played a couple times for
shit.
LA County Fair. I'm playing the LA County Fair in May, actually.
Hell yeah,
at the same place.
No way. You're playing where the Wonders played?
That's right.
Gosh, just in time for the anniversary.
Yeah. So
wow.
Quick tale about that is the first time I played at the fairgrounds, like I didn't know. I didn't know that was where they shot the movie. And we were playing with a friend of ours named Sean Fleming, and we got there and we realized very quickly, we're like, oh my God, this is the place where the Wonders play, where the Galaxy of Stars. And shortly after that, the band became called Sean Fleming and the Galaxy of Stars, thanks to that show and being in that in that venue.
Oh my God. I wonder how many bands are out there with like Wonders references, either in their songs or in their like titles. That would be an interesting piece of trivia to try to look up.
Yeah, for real.
That's insane. I did not know you played there. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was California, but I had no idea where.
Yeah. I mean, thinking of the quotes too, like the amount of times I've had someone be like, "Will you play this gig?" And I'll say, "If you want these magic hands, you got to buy 2 new record needles in this clock radio."
Like, in this clock radio.
How many people actually get that reference?
If the person does get the reference, we usually become immediate best friends. So many of the people I play with are like, we quote this movie all the time. "Take us there, Skitch," I think is, anytime a drummer has to start a song, somebody says, "Take us there, Skitch."
Oh. I love that. What about you, Lindsay?
So, Tom Britt got. Do you guys think he looks like Tom Hanks? Because I feel like I don't really see much of a resemblance.
I do. I think it's the hairline and the eye color. A little bit, especially young Tom Hanks. I think they do resemble each other because Tom Everett Scott kind of looks like Colin Hanks, who's also in this movie.
Yeah.
Did you notice him?
Yes. That was one of my fun facts. Rita and Colin, which was so fun.
Yeah.
But so young, too.
I know,
awesome
he was
to see.
a teenage. I think he was like 15 or 16 or something. But yeah, I do think they look alike. You don't?
No. I learned that they weren't going to cast Tom because of how similarly they looked, but Rita was like, no, like we should choose him. This just all goes to say I do think that Tom has, in That Thing You Do, has a really punchable face to me. There's just, I'm really sorry, guys. There's just something about him.
Lindsay, please!
I don't know what it is, okay? I have to speak my truth.
You speak your truth. I'm holding space for it. I just want to say something. Do you realize that you might feel that way because he's the fucking dad from The Summer I Turned Pretty?
Oh my god. Oh, that's crazy.
That's maybe why you're like subliminally.
Maybe I'm like projecting.
You're like, man, fuck that guy. I'm like, yeah,
oh my gosh,
fuck that guy. But
that's crazy.
He's the dad on The Summer I Turned
Yeah,
Pretty. I don't know if you watched that, Dan.
I did not see that movie.
This is girl stuff.
Was it good?
I knew I
like
recognized him from somewhere, but I for the life of me could not figure out what specifically. It was The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yep. He is
interesting.
Jeremiah and what's his face's fuck ass dad.
Yeah. And he definitely has a punchable
movie?
face in that.
He's such a dickhead. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's like a teen series, Dan. It's
okay.
It's kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. Let me
probably best that you don't.
Why? Are we gonna look uncool or something?
It's like, well, it's about these two brothers that fall in love with basically their sister, and just about their love affairs.
Okay. Good.
She's a family friend.
Okay.
But they all grew up together. It's called The Summer I Turned Pretty because like she's like the dorky, ugly like girl, and then she gets hot, and then all of a sudden the brothers are like, hey,
finally,
what's all that over there? And it's just like really good teen drama, very juicy. It's kind of giving like, I don't know, like OC meets like Gossip Girl, that kind of thing.
Okay. I loved the OC when it was on.
I know, right? Oh, fuck, I love that show so much.
I have a feeling it doesn't hold up. Do you think it holds up? I haven't watched it since the early 2000s.
I actually did. I just did a rewatch maybe 2 years ago. It holds up.
Oh, good.
There's like a couple of dicey things about like, there's some dicey like homophobia in there.
You can't get away from that language at that time, unfortunately.
I was like, "Ooh, Seth, don't say that." There's a couple of really dicey moments with like homophobia and like some slight racism, but other than that, yes, it holds up great. Actually,
There's a touch of racism,
just a teeny pinch
dash
of
of
racism.
homophobia, and you got yourself a 2000s TV show.
What are you gonna do, man? That's just what it was at the time.
That's right.
I don't know, but I think it holds up. Also, I don't know if I've ever told you this before. We're like way off tangent. I just have to confess this. I've always been a Ryan girl.
Ryan over Seth.
Yep.
I mean, I see it.
I'm a Ryan girl. I fear.
He's a cool guy. He's a fucking cool
so
guy,
cool.
man.
Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah. Something I mentioned earlier, like about the last 30 to 45 minutes when things shifted and you kind of realized like, oh, this isn't really, they're not going to stay together and their paths are going to go separate ways. And when Mr. White kind of had to become this parental figure over them and be like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, we signed a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And how short-lived the whole experience actually was. Because, I mean, they have this whole movie of this one song that just hit big. And I had to remind myself, like, oh, like, this is just the one song that they went on tour of.
This is like, what, a year? How long does this movie take place over?
It's a good question. I don't actually know.
I don't know if they ever say explicitly, but yeah, you're right, Lindsay. It is quick. It's quick. I want to say less than 2 years this whole story takes place.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I love, first of all, this is fictional, but that it doesn't feel fictional. like at the very end when they show what they went off to do. I love that part. That was so sweet.
I love when movies do that. Yeah. I had it later on in the notes, but yeah, that's an American Graffiti reference that Tom Hanks threw in there. But a lot of teen movies, again, that Dan and I grew up on, like Can't Hardly Wait.
Can't Hardly Wait, yeah.
Speaking of
Ethan Embry.
Ethan Embry, man, he was in everything in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think She's All That does it too, which we just talked about last week for Pretty Woman. I think She's All That ends on like a freeze frame with all the like what everyone went on to do. I love that too.
So cute.
It's so cute. It's so dated, but I don't know. It works every time.
Yeah, there's just something about it. Like, ah, everybody's doing okay.
Happened? Yeah. Dude, I know. And I'm glad they put up on the screen because I forgot like what was going on. This leads me to my next point, actually. This is like the only acceptable boomer nostalgia for me. Like, because I am a Forrest Gump hater. I don't care. Fight with your mama. I can't fucking stand that movie.
My mom does love Forrest Gump, actually.
Everybody's mom loves Forrest Gump. I hate that movie, though. It just drives me up a fucking wall. And I feel like a lot of boomer culture is based around nostalgia for a time that never really existed, you know? Yeah. I feel like it's all this rainbow and sunshine, and this slips into that a little bit because they never bring up like the Vietnam War. They never bring up civil rights. They never bring up feminism, women's rights really at all. It's just very like, don't worry about any of that. Just focus on this little band and this music story. But this is one of the only times where I accept it and I like that it just kind of stays on the surface of everything. We don't need a scene of like the bass player getting shot up in Vietnam, or you know, we never get to see like I think his name was it Lenny?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, Lenny.
No, the bellhop. Hold on. The black guy, the only black guy that talks in the movie, pretty much. The doorman. Lamar. Yeah, I knew it was an L name. We never see Lamar talking about like Martin Luther King Jr. You know, it's just they're just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, I can accept that in this instance. It's just, I don't know. There's just something about boomer nostalgia that usually really pisses me off. I don't like it, but this is good stuff. What's your favorite scene, Dan? Like of this whole movie, what would you point to as like the scene?
You know, for me personally, it's the jazz club scene.
Me too.
Yeah, it's really like, you know, talking about the reality of music, getting back to the reality of music again. There is really no truer thing than like you got to keep playing no matter with who. If you're like really a musician and really someone who loves to make music, and that is a reality you have to accept. You may want like your life to be with like your best buds in this band forever, but that's probably not realistic. And if you can accept that, then you can keep being a musician. You can keep doing it, but you got to understand that reality. Like I grew up around musicians. Like my dad's a musician, and he's done all kinds of stuff and been through the ups and downs as well. And so he, you know, when I was young and it was clear that I wanted to do this, you know, he was not shy about being like telling me that, you know. Yeah. And it's one thing when
this
you
shit sucks.
Yeah. And it's one thing when you hear from a parent, right? It's like you can kind of accept it, but I think especially if you're 12 years old, you're gonna be like, okay, Dad, whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, whatever.
There's something about like seeing it in a movie that made me go like, oh, he's not lying, you know, like other people also say this, you know, and can relate to this, and it's in a movie, so it's true, right?
Yeah, that scene totally reminds me of your dad, Dan. Like, Dan's dad, Lindsay, was like a big like Christian rock star, like in the 80s.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that man can fucking rip up a guitar.
Oh yeah,
he's Paul is an OG. Yeah. Like, he was in like a Christian metal band, right?
Contender. was the name of the band.
Contender.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He fucking rules. He's such a cool guy. They live down in North Carolina now. They're in between us.
That's interesting because when I was in like middle school, I went to this Christian summer camp, but it was out at a college, and there was like this Christian rock band that performed at the very end of the week, and I think about it all the time because it was awesome. I was like, this is freaking awesome, and I have no idea what the music was at all, but like this is it. Christian rock band.
Yeah, man. They had a fucking moment.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this scene reminds me of Paul. Just like every once in a while, like you would have like some big ass dream where you're like, I'm gonna do blah blah blah, and your dad would just be like, go get a job, Dan. He'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
Like he's so realistic and he's so experienced and just very like practical about the music industry, because I mean he had a like record deal and all that stuff too. Like you've been like on and off labels yourself and like on and off tour, and you know the ups and downs of it. I think that you both have found a way to like handle it really well and keep like some stability or consistency when you're off the road, like when you're in those lean times, you know. Sure. It's like you gotta hustle and just go do something else and do those jobs to like keep your passion alive on stage. So yeah, I think that's really admirable, and your dad's just so fucking funny with it. He's like, get your head out of the clouds, like this is cool, but
and always in a good way. I mean, to his credit, like he's not like a negative Nelly or some shit like that. No. Like it's always meant to be, you know, informative and protective, and it always has been. And and to your point of like getting through all those lean times, the amount of times I just like said to myself, like, you got to keep playing no matter with who. Bands come and go. You got to keep playing no matter with who, has been something I've said to myself for 2 decades or three decades.
No, absolutely. Do you remember the first time you went out on tour? You were a teenager, right?
First tour I went on, I was 17.
17.
Wow.
Yeah.
17, and he was out on tour. Unbelievable. Couldn't be me.
17 was my busiest year, baby. I've never reached this level again.
Oh, that's so crazy to think about.
No, that's not actually true. But no, that was my first like professional gig at 17, and started getting on the road.
And you were playing bass, right?
Mm-hmm. TB player.
The bass player.
That's right.
TB player.
That joke.
No name.
That joke always was incredible to me. Like I felt seen with that joke, you know, because like the bass players don't get credit unless you're Paul McCartney or somebody like, you know, cool like that.
Right.
Most of the time, bass players are the forgotten members of the band.
Yeah. Or like Geddy Lee. Is he a bassist?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
See that?
It's like Geddy Lee.
I think we're figuring out that you got to be the singer also. Geddy Lee singer, McCartney singer.
Mark Hoppus
singer.
Oh my God. I think we just cracked the bassist code.
That's it.
Yeah. Whoa.
If you don't sing, you don't exist if you're a bass player.
We did get to learn that his name was Tobias from their reunion interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was something he just like made up so that like his character had a name, or if it was something that was like originally in the script and they're like, he doesn't have a name, he's just the bass. Because in the end credits of the movie, he's the bass player.
player. Yeah.
No name. I was like, what? That's such a good bit. Yeah, a lot of the like musician like inside jokes are very clever.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks definitely knows a lot of musicians, or has a very good imagination of what it was like for bands coming up in that time, and really any time. It's a timeless kind of format. Lindsay, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna ask Dan about some of his silliest gig venues.
Perfect. Yeah.
I mean,
so we're calling this Villa Piano's Corner, in honor of the Italian restaurant Villa Piano's.
Also,
Corner.
what a great bit too, when they're like playing and you hear the airplanes going, going from them.
Bro, that's so painful. What's some of the silliest, like, dumbest places you've ever played?
I mean, there's like countless gigs that were dumb in my life, but you know what came to mind was one time with I was on the road with my band The Grape and the Grain, and it would have been like probably 2015 or 2016. And it was a tour that, like, I mean, we had some help booking it, but it was kind of like I booked it with a little bit of help. And point being is, like, there could have been someone who would have done a better job. I didn't do a very good job at, like, vetting any of these venues. I was just like, you'll book us? Great, I'll take it.
That's very brave of you to admit. That's very big of you.
And we wound up at thank you. We wound up at a candy store in Ohio, like a full-on old-timey candy store with, like, a guy
That's kind of awesome.
with a vest and, like, a little bow tie, and he was like, "You guys are here to play the show."
Oh my gosh.
And we were like
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, dude. And, you know, we were like a loud, raucous band. And so we, like, showed up and we're like, what is happening here? I mean, he did give us some free candy, so that was cool. But
I'm so weak.
And there was
not the Candyman can.
The Candyman can give you some free candy, but he cannot get a crowd to come to that show. There was nobody there. It was really a Candyman's private show. And the other band that was there. So that was super awkward.
That's hilarious.
You know, like, smaller crowds are the most awkward thing ever. This also reminds me quickly of on that very first tour that I did, played in Little Rock, Arkansas, and there was like 4 people. 3 of them looked exactly like Rob Zombie. The other one was a pregnant woman who was chain smoking cigarettes the whole time.
Oh my God.
The whole time we were there. And they stood about a foot away from us and passed around a bottle of Jack Daniels while we played. And
what, the pregnant lady also?
To her credit, I don't think she took any pulls off that bottle, but it didn't stop her from smoking cigs the whole time we were there. And you know, it's one of those things where, like, the song would end and they'd just be like, "All right, that was good. Got any more?" Yeah, we got like three more songs. You know. So, but kind of scary, like, kind of the feeling of, like, if they don't like this song, they might beat us up.
Yeah, literally. You better, like, run back to the van.
And then I don't know if you guys have seen Spinal Tap.
Yes.
But one of the classic scenes in Spinal Tap is they play an Air Force base, and it's crazy. And I did once play an Air Force base. And it was...
I don't think I knew this.
It was a fine show. There was, like, nothing really to write home about, except that it was an Air Force base. And just the whole time you're just like, wow, here we are. We really did it. We really are playing an Air Force base. Spinal Tap is real.
That's fucking insane. I love that, like, this movie, like you said earlier, has become such like a touchstone, such a second language amongst other musicians of, like, in that same way that Spinal Tap has become just basically like a meme for musicians.
Yeah, totally.
That's fucking great. Love that. Great choices.
So, Marquita, what was your favorite musical performance?
Thank you for asking, Lindsay. My favorite musical performance in this movie, there's a lot to choose from, but there's something so exciting, and I feel like it's kind of the peak of the movie for me is that first big State Fair performance when they've signed to Playtone. What is it? Playtone Records. And they feel like they've hit the big time for the first time. And I think that's also the first performance where they have the matching suits, right?
Fabulous in the red suits. You look fabulous in the red suits.
Yeah. I love that one. It's just such an exciting moment for the band, and it's kind of the last time they're all super happy. So going out on top the first state fair. What about you, Dan?
I like Dance With Me. That's the one that Lenny sings. And they're in Indiana on like the big circle stage.
Oh, yeah. I never really, I guess I was just so obsessed with the other song. I never really noticed Dance With Me until this most recent time I watched it. That's a banger.
It kind of rules. And you get the great, Tom Hanks is like trying to be cool, but he can't help but like hit the snare drum. And then he goes back in and then he's like kind of grooving along. And then he goes back to like being a serious guy.
Yeah. I love that one. What about you, Lindsay?
Guy and Dell's jam sesh at the very end of the movie. It was the perfect way to end for Guy. It almost felt like a dream. Like, of course, he's gonna be sitting at the drums, and then who walks in? Dell. Want a jam, Guy? It's
right?
like, yeah.
I feel like every musician like dreams and prays for a moment like that.
Yeah, and just like when Dell starts to play the piano and they kind of just immediately like get in each other's groove. It was awesome. It's like gave me chills.
Isn't that beautiful? That's also one of my favorites. Yeah, that's a very close runner up for me. It's just like, it's just the dream, you know?
Yeah.
Do you, Dan, like who would be, I mean, you've got to play with some really fucking cool musicians over the years, but like who haven't you played with that would be that like Dell jam sesh moment for you?
Oh, that I haven't played with.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I know.
You know what? First to come to mind is John Bryan. I'm such a big fan of John Bryan, and it would really be cool to do, to ever do something like that with him.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. We really, I think that's when we became like really locked in, is when we started nerding out about John Bryan and the Magnolia soundtrack. And
so
just
good.
like, oh my God. I was like, this is my fucking guy. I think I told you, like, I was like, yeah, I'm listening to the I Heart Huckabees CD in my car right now. And you were like,
John Bryan?
I fucking love John
You know John Bryan?
I love John Bryan. It's like, you too.
Yo, if you guys make
what?
it out, we should try to hook it up so we can go to Largo and see him.
That is the one thing that we didn't get to cross off the list last time I was out there. The dates didn't line up, I think, because I was only there for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, he only does it like
ill.
once a month or whatever now. He doesn't do it as often as he used to, but
damn. Yeah, and I was deathly ill when I left there because we caught COVID.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
At Twisters
40X. We both got so sick.
Lindsay, I flew home. I think I told you, like, I flew home.
I remember this.
I was violently ill for like 2 weeks. It was bad.
Worth it though.
Worth it.
Worth it. Worth it.
I got sick at like the last night, like I had just done laundry and I was packing up my clothes to like get ready for my flight the next day. I was like, I'm just going to go with God. It's too late. I have to go home. I have to go home. I can't stay here. I'm putting on a mask. I'm not touching anything. I'm not sitting next to anyone. I never took it off until I literally got in my car in Raleigh. And I just was like, you know what? I got to go the fuck home. But yeah, I definitely caught COVID when I was out in LA.
Fucking 40X movie theaters, man. You got to watch out.
I don't remember if I told you, Lindsay, but the fucking theater, because it was Twisters, which was, by the way, one of the coolest movie theater experiences I've ever had. Don't get me wrong. That shit fucking rules. So every time there's a Twister, it's blowing wind in your face, and you can like smell do you remember the smell? It was like the grass.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the prairie smell on screen.
Ooh,
there was lightning.
so cool.
There was rain. It was so fucking sick, but because there's spraying.
There was rain?
Yes.
Yeah,
bitch,
they like mist water at you and stuff.
Oh my gosh. That's so I think I've
like a theme
done
park
that
ride.
before at like Disney World or something.
That's what it's like. It's like a Disney theme park ride.
I was fucking sick. But then I got sick because we're all screaming and breathing with our mouths open, and everybody's just getting air and fucking water blown in their faces, and we're all just like spitting it out all over everybody.
Going into the mist and getting all over.
Disgusting. So unhygienic, but so fun. I'd do it again. Yeah. Fuck it. Oh, yeah. So, Dan, who's your favorite acting performance in this movie?
Steve Zahn was always kind of my guy when I was young. I always thought he was the funniest guy, kind of the coolest guy.
Absolutely.
I also probably fell in love with Liv Tyler like the second she got on the screen when I was, again, 12 years old is the perfect age. She got on the screen. I was like, that's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my whole life.
And you know what? She probably still is. She lives out near Hudson.
Oh, wow.
People
really?
have met her. Yeah. Like some of my server friends have like met her in Hudson, and they were like, she is so beautiful and so nice. I was like, don't tell me that. Please.
My sister Olivia definitely helped her shopping when she worked at a grocery store when she was like a teenager. She could tell you that story better than I could, but
oh my god, I have to ask her. Yeah. Wow, I did not. Why does she never fucking tell me that? I gotta ask your sister about that.
Yeah.
Wow, fucking Olivia. So I also, Lindsay, I don't know if you know this, but when I talk about Olivia, my old roommate, that's Dan's sister. So.
Oh my gosh!
I used to live in that apartment. But you took my spot basically in that apartment. When I moved out, you moved in.
I was like, oh my god, you're leaving? Damn. How much is rent? So yeah, Dan and I lived in the same apartment, but not at the same time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're like family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm also a Steve Zahn person. It's funny because I think pretty much since White Lotus, he was on the first season of White Lotus, right?
Yeah.
I think since then I've just haven't really seen him in anything at all, and I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about him a little bit for a while there. I just haven't seen him or thought of him recently, but like as soon as I turned this on, I was like, there we go. That's my fucking guy. Yeah. He's like the perfect glue. I mean, within the band, but also just within like the cast structure. He's like the perfect glue guy. He's always like, keeping the positive energy. Like he's just such a great vibe. I think he makes that cast really like gel well together, and I guess a lot of the bits he had come up with and a lot of the little funny like one-liners were improv either by him or Tom Hanks would like throw lines out at him like Adam McKay does on his movie sets, and Steve would just deliver them off the cuff. So apparently he was like great on set and everybody loved working with him, and he like kept the comedic relief going. I just love Lenny, and Lenny is definitely someone like I would be like homies with in real life. Maybe that's why Dan and I get along so well. You are kind of a Lenny. Especially like as you're older and mellowed out now.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. I got a lot of Lenny in me.
Yeah. And also Lenny is just, he's so funny when he meets that his first wife. And he's just immediately like, I love her, we're getting married.
I am so happy.
I feel like that's some shit like super young Dan would do.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I was engaged very young. Needless to say that did not work out.
19, 20. Yeah. He was like, I'm getting married. What?
Christianity will do that to you.
Again, I can't relate. I'm like engaged. Why? To who? I'm almost 40 and I'm like, child bride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Married?
What are you, crazy?
You crazy? But yeah, Lenny is the best. I know you had him too, Lindsay, but who else was your favorite acting performance?
I loved Ethan Embry as bass player.
He is fucking hysterical in this movie too.
I don't know what else I've seen him in, but there's just something about his face. It's just so cute, just so like shy, quiet, happy-go-lucky. And he was 16, which I did not know. That's crazy.
He was a child when they shot this.
Wow.
He did Empire Records with Liv Tyler. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Classic.
He did Can't Hardly Wait.
One of my faves.
He was the lead of that. I don't know. And then he kind of started falling off. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it must just... I'll have to figure it out.
He might have been on TV doing something too. I don't remember.
Yeah, he has also... a long list of like movies you never heard of and TV shows you never watched.
Okay.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
He really looks like a lot of the boys that I would have crushes on growing up, so that might also be why.
Oh, absolutely.
I love the scene where it's like, "Where's your bass player?" and it cuts to him on a roller coaster.
So unserious. Always off on some goddamn side quest. Like, what are you doing?
I really like that they had him as a character be someone that wanted to be in the military too.
Yeah.
I know.
Such a nice like switch up.
I know, because you feel like the most like militant, serious one would be like Jimmy.
Yeah.
But they make it the bass player, and you're like, no, the military's gonna eat you alive.
No.
I always felt so worried that like he did end up in Vietnam, but I just assumed once he was like, oh, I'm going to be a Marine. I was like, oh my God, he's going to fucking die overseas. Like, this is so stressful, but not in a Tom Hanks movie.
No.
He went to Purple Heart and he lived happily ever after.
As a construction worker in Orlando, Florida.
Oh boy. Only, like I said, only Tom can get away with this fuckery.
But, construction.
And everything was fine and everybody was happy.
Lived happily ever after.
You're like, all right, Tom. If you say so. But speaking of Ethan Embry, I heard which one was it? I think it was in the oral history, or it might have been in the reunion video we watched, but one of them, they talked about how he shit himself on set. He fucking got a duck. It was definitely in the oral history, yeah. Because the costume designer was like, yeah, I only had one of those fucking red suits and he shit himself in it.
Oh, no.
But yeah, apparently he was like a terror on set just because he was like a 16-year-old kid and he was fucking high all the time and just fucking around, just really like bohemian lifestyle, like punk rocker. Was like, yeah, whatever, man. And everybody's like, it's not whatever, man. Like, he was a lot like the bass player in real life on set. Wow. I guess is like just running around, no one could ever find him. He was like, he caught dysentery because he got a pet duck and was like mouth feeding the pet duck.
My God.
And caught a disease from the duck. Like, yeah, you fucking idiot.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I got this duck and I had to feed it with my mouth and then it made me sick. Like, duh. Ethan, you fucking child. But yeah, apparently he was just a disaster. Which, I mean, like you said, Lindsay, he was 16, so that checks out. 16-year-old boy on a movie set, probably without his parents.
No,
Hollywood's crazy.
No good. No good's gonna come from that.
No, absolutely not. So there's a scene in the movie right when the Wonders start to, I think it's the same moment when they first signed to Playtone and they're going out on their big like state fair tour and they run into the singer Freddie Fredrickson. And Lindsay, you brought it up about Guy earlier, but how he's such like a music dork and he's so excited to meet Freddie Fredrickson and he starts singing his song at him and Freddie's like, all right, cool, yeah, like, nice to meet you, get the fuck away from me. And it goes over like with a thud, just like so fucking awkward. And knowing you pretty well, Dan, I would guess that you've had some moments like this.
Yes, I have.
What was your most awkward celebrity encounter?
Yes, I have.
I'm sure.
Well, so there's a bass player that I have always loved and respected. His name's Tony Levin, and he's just, for anyone who knows about it, he's like a legend. He's a legendary bass player.
Genesis, right? Phil Collins. What does he do?
He's sort of best known for being in Peter Gabriel's band for
Peter
like
Gabriel,
a million years.
Not Phil Collins.
Genesis. You're close. I'm sure he probably has played with Phil Collins. He's played with everybody. I mean, he played with John Lennon. He was in King Crimson. Still is in King Crimson. And he does crazy stuff, like he plays bass with like stick fingers. He like tapes drumsticks to his fingers and plays, does crazy stuff. So I was hugely influenced by him and admired him. And when I was 18, I was playing in a Catholic Celtic rock band called Kaylee Rain. And Kaylee Rain was doing a record
He's really done it all.
in Woodstock.
Oh,
We were doing a record in Woodstock, and the guy who was producing it was a man named Jerry Murata, who's also a legend in his own right, a drummer.
Oh, I've met Jerry, yeah.
And also played with a million people. And him and Tony are friends and have been in lots of projects together. And so he got Tony to come and play on some of the records. So I was splitting the tracks with Tony Levin. We were both on the record. He was going to do 5. I was going to do 5 or whatever it was. And so everybody was really cool about like, hey, this is like a guy you admire. You should, you're welcome to come to the sessions when he's here and just sort of be a fly on the wall and whatever. And I, of course, took them up on
I'm already cringing.
Are you guys familiar with the Chris Farley show bit, the old SNL bit? I was that. I was like, wow.
Hey, remember when you played on stage with John Lennon? That was awesome.
I was doing exactly that, and he was
Dad!
He was very kind and took it with great stride. But I definitely was an 18-year-old kid, like sitting at his knees, being like, "Is that the bass that you used in 1994 when you were on tour with Peter Gabriel for the Us tour? Because I've seen the videos, and it looks like the same bass, and that bass is really cool." And of course, he's like, "I have like 10 of these in the same color. I don't know if it was this one or not." Of course you do. Of course, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Sure, kid.
Yeah, and the sad thing is, I wish I could say that like I've since like I still know Tony. He's a friend of the family, and I wish I could say that has stopped, but it hasn't. I'm still
Dan.
I went to a session one time with him where he was playing this bass, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's like one of those Epiphone ravioli basses, right?" And he's like, "Well, it's called Rivoli, but yes." I'm like, I still like get like fuck up my words and like get nervous around him.
That's a ravioli base. Oh God, love you. Wow.
He's a sweet man who still puts up with me going like, "Oh," whenever I see him.
That's incredible. Well, at least he wasn't like an asshole to you.
No.
That's always like my worry when dealing with like famous people. I'm just like, please don't be an asshole to me. I will hate you for the rest of my life and tell everybody that you're an asshole. So you're lucky, Zach Braff.
Zach Braff? Did you meet Zach Braff?
Did I ever tell you the story?
No. Or I forgot. It's possible I forgot.
Sorry, we got to take a slight detour again. I'm so sorry. So I met Zach Braff again in Hudson 10 years ago.
Wow.
Almost 10 years ago to the day. And he was so fucking cool and so nice to me. And oh my God, he was honestly really hot in person, and he smelled amazing. And here's my favorite part of the story, because you know me, Dan, like I'm a little, if I don't know you like that, I'm a little like aloof. I'm a little bit like, you come to me.
Sure.
Kind of, and that's exactly what I did, because I saw him. I recognized him. And I was with one of my best friends at the time. We worked at the bank together. and we were out getting drinks at a bar. I don't even know if it exists anymore in Hudson. And we looked down at the other end of the bar, and she was like, "Oh my God, that's Zach Braff." And I looked, and I was like, "Yeah, it is."
And then you yelled Scrubs, and then you turned away.
No, I played it so fucking cool. I was like, "Yeah, that's him. Drink your drink. He'll come to us." And I just said nothing, did nothing, didn't even look at him. But she's like, got her. I was like, "Lauren, you got to stop. Like, switch spots with me," because she was like,
couldn't stop staring.
I was like, "Stop. You're embarrassing me. Like, relax. Play it off." So, because she doesn't watch TV for context, and the only show that she watched growing up, because she had it on DVD, was Scrubs.
Right.
She is obsessed with Scrubs, obsessed with Zach Braff. And we're like across the street from her apartment, and he's just chilling at a bar, hanging out, and like waved to us. And I was like, "He'll come to us." And she's like, "No, like, let me go over there. This is my chance. Like, I have to meet him. Like, I have to talk to him. You can't like let him leave." I'm like, "He's not going to leave. He's going to come over and talk to us. Don't worry."
That's that key to confidence, man.
And he fucking did.
Of course he did.
He did. He came up to me.
Damn right he did.
And was like, and I was looking good too. He came up to me. And he was like, "Hey." And I was like, "Hey." Like, he's like, "You know who I am, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah." "It's nice to meet you." And we talked for like 10, 15 minutes. He like had his arm around us. I was like, this man, so nice. Like, so cool. I was like giving him shit about like the restaurants that he likes, because they're like the bougie rich people restaurants in Hudson. Right. I was like, "You would eat there, fucking loser." Just like roasting him. He was... I met one of his best friends, I guess, who like lives in the area. Like, we're like chit-chatting for like 15 minutes, and he's like, "All right, have a good night." I was like, "You too."
Damn. Damn.
Bye. And Lauren was like, she was literally, as soon as he walked out the door, she started sobbing, and she was like, "That was so cool. How are you like this? How did you?" She was like, "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." She was like shaking and crying, and I'm like, "I told you." I was like, I've never been so cool in my fucking life. Jesus Christ.
It is amazing how you're able to do that. It's endlessly impressive how fucking cool you are in those situations.
Thank you. I was like, "Yeah, he'll come to me." And I said that with my whole chest. I'm like 26. I have no reason to believe that, but it was true.
Hell yeah.
So, for the listeners at home, always fucking believe in yourself.
That's right.
And if you see Zach Braff, ignore him. He will come to you. And that's my story of, I think, probably the most famous person I've ever met, I think.
I can't remember what we were doing, but there was something after you told me the story. There's something that happened, and I was like, "This is just like when you told me about." I cannot remember what it was, though.
Were we like out somewhere?
Yeah.
Or... Ooh, I believe it. I guess, okay, so I guess I am still pretty cool then.
Come on.
Yeah.
What do you think? It diminished over time or something?
Well, I feel like it kind of, a little bit. I think,
No.
I just, no?
No.
Okay. Okay. Like, I feel like I'm not as cool as I used to be.
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, that's not true.
Thank you.
No. Like,
all right.
I feel like at
I
this
wasn't
point you're
sure.
like truly one of the queens of like the film scene in Durham. Like at night school, literally everyone knows you.
That is true. That is true. Oh my God. Dan, do you remember, please? I know this is so annoying to do, but like, can you please just co-sign? Back in the day when I used to walk into rooms, did people just clap?
Cheer,
for me?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was one of them. Get up!
All the time. I was out with my friend Christina one night, and I think we went to like BSP or something, and I walked into the room, and everybody was just like, "Yes!" And, like screaming and cheering when I was there. She was like, "What's happening?" I was like, "I'm here." What do you mean?
Kita. That would happen a lot.
I'm losing some cool points by the minute. But yeah, I was just like explaining to someone, I was like, "Oh, well, people don't clap when you
people don't cheer when you walk in the room?"
I don't understand.
That's so weird.
Why?
People always cheer when I walk in the room.
And I meant it. I was like, why are you cheering for me? You're the band. Like,
because you're the
people know
coolest. Because
you.
we love you, man. You're cooler than us. You've always been cooler than us.
You've always said that, and I think I believe you now. I think I finally believe you. You'd be like, Kita, you're so fucking cool, and I'm like, that. You're like an actual rock star. That can't be the case. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, well, I remember the very first time I met you at the Apple party, and someone put that
when
thing
I won
around
Apple trivia.
Yes, when you won Apple trivia. But this was my first time meeting you, and someone had put that like thing around my neck. And as I was leaving, I needed to find someone else to put it on, and I put it on around your neck, just literally based off of a vibe in the room. I was like, who should this go to? You.
Me. Thank you. Was it a boa? It was a boa, right? Or something.
I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Something
That's right.
like that.
Yeah, we were locked in. I was like, she's cool. Hope I see her again. Anyway, this has been Kita is Cool Corner. That's enough of that. So boring. Whatever.
I'll make like a wah guitar track for you so you can do the in and out of waka chicka waka chicka. Kita's Cool Corner. Waka chicka.
Hey, everybody, let's talk about how cool I am. God, that's so obnoxious, but whatever.
Gotta do it.
What are you gonna do?
Gotta do it.
You gotta do it sometimes.
What are you gonna not?
And the thing is, it's all true.
That's right. It is. I was there. I clapped.
We're just speaking the truth.
And everybody clapped. That meme. And then everybody clapped. They don't do that for you? Weird. What was the most interesting thing you learned behind the scenes about this movie, Lindsay?
Well, I guess truly only interesting to me, but I did not know that Tom Hanks, for one, was making movies, but that this was his directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm going to recommend this later, but he did Larry Crown. I freaking love that movie. Have you guys seen it?
No. I think this is the only Tom Hanks directed thing that I've seen.
Well, it's him and Julia Roberts. It's like it's almost like a coming of age, but like midlife older man. It's great.
Oh, okay. I think it's on Netflix. But no, I've never seen it.
I just remember the picture of them on the Vespa on the cover.
Yeah.
I can't believe I let a Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts movie slip by me. That's crazy.
It's really good.
That's like negative millennial points there. So yeah, this was his first movie, and he made this as he was coming off of 2 Oscar wins.
Yeah.
And Toy Story.
Yep.
He wrote this while he was filming Forrest Gump interviews, which is just wild to like think about Forrest Gump and then this movie, like how he was somehow able to like compartmentalize and write very, very different things.
Yeah, he said it helped him like stay grounded while he was on like a 2-year press tour for Forrest Gump. Fucking insane. Yeah, what else you got, Lindsay?
Also, that Del Paxton was based off of Bill Saxton. I really like saying those back and forth. Del Paxton, Bill Saxton.
I didn't know that Del Paxton wasn't a real person. I thought the movie character was like a real guy. I don't know who Bill Saxton is. Do you, Dan?
No, I thought it was Bill. I assumed it was Bill Paxton. Not Saxton, but Paxton.
I think
that's Twister.
I know. I assumed they were friends.
Well, I don't really know who Bill Saxton is either, other than he's just a jazz player.
Oh,
jazz.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Of course.
Yeah. So apparently he's some real jazz musician guy that I have never heard of. I thought it was just a made up thing for the movie.
Same.
They just changed the name a little bit.
Interesting.
What about you, Dan? We talked a little bit about Damien Chazelle. Do you know anything else about that, or just like any other connections to this movie behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
because I have a lot.
The Damien Chazelle thing was interesting to learn. I didn't know that. What I put down that I thought was interesting is that I mean, we've talked about some of the cameos already, but Paul Feig being the radio host, I thought was fun and pretty funny.
He was so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Feig of Freaks and Geeks and Bridesmaids, right, and so on and so forth. Like huge comedy actor and director.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I think Kenan and Kel as well. Isn't that him?
Oh, probably. I didn't know that, but yeah, that I'm sure he's done so much stuff throughout the years.
Him.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then just like other fun behind the scenes stuff. The drummer who played the iconic drum part is this guy Kenny Aronoff, who's played with tons and tons of people. Jack and Diane, the John Mellencamp song, like that's also Kenny Aronoff. He's like a real deal kind of famous studio drummer guy, which I learned only this time around of watching it. And same with the choreography was Tony Basil. Do you guys know who Tony Basil is?
I do. Oh, Mickey, right. You're so fun.
Yeah, dude, it's Mickey. So I thought that was fun.
Crazy.
I didn't know that either.
I did not know that.
I knew that she was a choreographer, but I didn't know that she did this movie. So that was cool to find out.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I didn't even see her name in the credits, and I actually, because I wanted to check for names and see like any notable names in the credits, I watched them this time and just to see if I picked up on anything. The Paul Feig thing I saw, but I did not see Tony Basil. That's what a fucking legend. She's so cool.
Mickey, you're so fine. You blow my mind.
Hey, Mickey. Oh, what a fucking legend. So speaking of cameos, I had two. This is the first time I've ever noticed that Chris Isaak was in this movie.
Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob. I don't know how I didn't recognize him, considering like I was so obsessed with the Wicked Game music video.
It was an awakening for a lot of people, that video.
I was one of those people.
Me
yes.
too.
Whew. God damn. I was obsessed with that Chris Isaak music video, which I also did not know was directed by.
I was just gonna say it's directed by David Lynch. I found out only recently.
When he died, everyone was like, "Oh, R.I.P." and they were playing Wicked Game. I was like, "Huh?" Blew my mind. But yeah, I did not know that was Chris Isaak in this movie this whole time, and Jonathan Demme as well, who Tom Hanks worked with on Philadelphia, of course, but also didn't he do Silence of the Lambs? Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? We mentioned Silence of the Lambs earlier. Yeah, Jonathan Demme plays the beach party movie director, and I never knew he was in this movie. And behind the scenes, I guess Demme had also helped Tom produce this. He was a producer of this movie and was like vital to this movie getting made. I just did not know that. I guess I never paid attention, or maybe I don't know. I just never paid attention to that. So I thought that was cool to learn this time around. And the big thing we haven't talked about yet is, of course, That Thing You Do, the song, which, for my money, is the best fictional song in a movie ever. There's so few songs that like stick out to me as much as like a fake band song that just is so good that you wish it was a real band. This is definitely one of them. And some of the other standout original songs from movies to me are Josie and the Pussycats, which I fucking love. Someone I know is obsessed with music and lyrics, starring Drew Barrymore and Hugh Grant. And that's all the same guy. Adam Schlesinger. Oh my God. This name is going to kick my ass.
It's hard. It's a hard name.
Nope. I'm going to find it. Adam Schlesinger.
No, that's
Schlesinger?
That was good.
That was good. Adam Schlesinger.
Yeah, there you go.
Woo. That's a one and done for me, baby. He was the co-founder of Fountains of Wayne, which I did not know. And his song was picked for That Thing You Do out of 300 demos submitted. Every band from coast to coast it was like an open call. Everyone heard through the grapevine and maybe also through like the record labels that Tom Hanks was making a movie and that he wanted original music for it. And all these bands, including Squeeze, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
I did not know they submitted for this. Pretty much every band that was even a little bit hot at the time. And then Adam, who was not in like a big band at the time, did the music for this, and he won. Not won. He was nominated for a Best Song Oscar, as he should be. I think he should have won. I don't know who he was up against. I meant to look that up actually, but
I think
he should have won for this.
I think Evita won that year.
Oh, that's right. Fucking Evita. This was the Evita year. Oh, what a bummer.
I know.
He lost to Evita. Oof. Oh, that's even worse than I remember. God damn. Good pull, Dan.
Thank you.
But yeah, I just wanted to shout him out. Like,
He was incredible.
What a fucking.
He was such a great writer.
Right? He wrote That Thing You Do. He wrote Stacy's Mom. Like, come on. He was pumping out hits behind the scenes, like on and off mic. Just, I think he wrote a lot for other bands as well, from what I remember reading about him.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, the TV show, also.
Yes, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. He did all the music for that. But yeah, just rest in peace to him. He died of COVID in Poughkeepsie.
That I didn't know. That's crazy to find out.
Me neither.
I was born there.
I was born in Kingston, like right. This is for the people who don't know where that is. This is like deep Hudson Valley lore. This is like 20 minutes from where I grew up. 30. But yeah, I did not know he was in our area during COVID, and he passed away up there. But Adam Schlesinger, what a real one.
Yeah.
Did you know about him growing up when you were obsessed with this movie, Dan? Did you like follow his career at all, or were you just kind of like, did you think The Wonders was a real band?
I definitely wished that they were. No, I honestly didn't really know much about Adam Schlesinger until he passed. It was a real like, that was the same guy for like I was in Sandlot. Like, that's the same guy.
You're like, that's all the same guy.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know a lot of that until a handful of years ago. He was a real gem. He wrote some incredible music for some stuff that we all love.
I know. Such a cool guy. And then my last little fun fact, Lindsay, is related to our last episode. The hotel scenes were shot at the Ambassador Hotel, same hotel that they used for Pretty Woman.
You know, one of the interviews that we watched in the homework, Tom Hanks mentions Gary Marshall and how much influence he took away from him working with him. So that makes a lot of sense. Right?
Yeah. And the Ambassador Hotel does not exist anymore. It was torn down. And that was also like a big it was like a very controversial demolition because it's also where Robert Kennedy Jr. was, or no, oh my God, sorry. RFK. Not Jr., Jesus Christ. That's where Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated. And some real estate developers came in and were like, fuck it. Knock it down. But yeah, that was all I had for fun facts. All right, do you want to go next, Lindsay?
Yeah.
Stacy's mom has got it
going on.
I'll ask you, Dan, what little moment affected you about this movie?
There's so many of them. Honestly, I could name like most scenes from this movie had an effect on me throughout my life. Definitely the montage of the band like going on tour and getting new gear. When I was young, I was like, God, I want to do that so bad. That was one that definitely I was into. The other thing I was thinking about like this time around is Wolfman.
I meant to bring him up earlier. Yeah. He is like such a solid dude, and they all just clowned on him. They're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, he's like, I mean, he's kind of like not, he's like almost a villain in a weird way, but he's not at all. But I mean,
like,
for me,
he's just a jobber.
It's a gig. And that was something like this time around, I was like, yeah, Wolfman. He's just gigging. He's just
gigging.
This is just another day at the job for Wolfman. He's not a band guy. He's a pro. He shows up, he collects his paycheck and takes off.
I like to imagine in like an alternate universe that Wolfman is part of like the Wrecking Crew, you know?
Dude, yeah. That's a good pull. I wonder if he is influenced by that, cuz that would make a lot of sense.
Gotta be, right? Just like a jobber who comes in, just fucking rips, and he's like, all right, thanks for the money. See ya.
Yeah.
Have you ever done gigs like that?
Absolutely.
Where you just like fill in for like a day or two? I think I've seen you do a few of those, but like
I do a lot of that nowadays for sure.
Yeah.
Hired hand.
Mm-hmm.
Show up and play.
It's like people just get in touch with you. They're like, we need someone. When you are getting asked or approached for those things, is it generally because you're like a multi-disciplined, I'm not going to try to say that word right now. Multi-instrument players. So when people ask you for things, is it singing mostly? Is it bass? Is it drums? Or is it guitar?
It's usually
or keys.
It's usually the bass. I mean that's like the one thing that I actually know what I'm doing on. I can play other stuff to a certain degree, but bass was the thing I actually like put a focus on growing up, and that was sort of bread and butter in my early days. All those bands that I toured with when I was younger, I was always the bass player.
Okay, gotcha.
Recently moving out here, I've been playing a decent amount of drums. For some reason, drummers seem to be hard to come by. But
surprising.
Yeah. But it's rarely ever to be a singer or anything like that. That's always just kind of my own projects. Mostly bass and drums for sure.
I see. I was just curious, like when you're the Wolfman, like what are people asking you to come in and do?
It's usually the bass, bass. And so when I was a kid too, like that was another thing as a kid, where like you see Wolfman and I think there's a part of you that goes like, well, he's not like one of the guys in the band. He's not in the band. So he shouldn't be here. But it was also no, there is this other thing where there is like people who get hired to come in and do this thing. And it was like, I had never seen that represented. I didn't even know that was like a thing until I saw it in this movie. It definitely made me go like, oh, maybe that's the move. These guys are dealing with all kinds of drama. This guy just kind of shows up. And then if there is drama, he's like, I'm out of here. That scene when Jimmy quits, Tom Hanks is just like, well, Wolfman, give me a call. We'll hang out. And he's like, great. Guess you don't need me today. See you later. He got paid. He still got paid to be there.
Can you imagine, like, have you ever, you don't have to name names, but have you ever been like on the sidelines of like a big band argument like that as like a day player, and you're like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna head out.
No, luckily no. Like no real drama that I can think of. I'm sure after we hang up, I'll be like, oh, I remember something. But no, nothing comes to mind off the top of my head. Usually that stuff happens like outside of the room, if you're a hired guy, or
not in front of company.
Yeah. Or you're the guy that's like, causing the problem. I've been that guy.
You? Never. What?
I've done that.
Are you the drama?
I have been. Certainly have been.
No way. I don't believe it.
I was very passionate in my teenage. It was passion, Kita. I was not just a dumb asshole like I probably was.
This fucking guy. Lord almighty.
And what about you, Marquita? What was your little moment?
So I can't confirm this, and I did like a lot of Googling and message boarding trying to figure out if this is a thing of where they got this line from, but as we've been talking about the whole episode, this is a big, big, big movie for musicians and like young musicians coming up in the 90s. So there's just a throwaway line in this movie where Faye says, "California, here we come." And I was like, is that where Fanaplanet got that line from? Like, is that a reference to this movie? You know that song, right, Lindsay? I'm sure you do.
I'm sure I
song
do.
To the OC. Speaking of the OC,
right.
You know it. You must know it. I'll sing it later.
I must. Yeah, later. For later.
California, here we come.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one.
Maybe.
Yeah. We're getting like real old head on her right now. She don't know.
I know.
that.
There's been so many times where I'm just like, I'm just gonna pretend.
Like,
Just
I don't know what that
pretending.
means.
Featuring
Just going
what the fuck is his name
along.
from Rushmore plays the drums on that song.
Yes, Jason Schwartzman,
yes.
love of my
Jason
life.
Schwartzman.
Nothing's changed, Dan. I'm still obsessed with that man.
He's a cool guy, man. Come on, he's in good.
He's so cool.
He's in good movies. He's in a good band.
He's so fucking cool. I also heard he like lives in the Durham area. I'm like,
What?
I'm this close. I'm this close. We have mutuals. I'm gonna find him. Actually, no. What am I talking about? No. He'll come to me.
That's right. Don't just stay at home and he'll come to you eventually.
He'll come to me.
You've heard that he's in Durham?
Yeah. Yeah, or Chapel Hill. But yeah, I've heard rumblings. Anyway, I got off track. But yeah, that was my it just like made my ears perk up this time, and I was like, I wonder if that's where that lyric came from, cuz I really want to find a way to figure out how many like bands and other movies have referenced this movie throughout the years. I mean, the big ones we talked about earlier, La La Land, Insane. I cannot believe I didn't catch that.
Yeah, same.
Never even crossed my mind, but I'm sure it's scattered all throughout pop culture elsewhere. So now I'm like curious to go on a little deep dive and see if I can find more of that thing you do references around. And what about you, Lindsay? What was your like little moment that stood out to you about this movie?
I think just how much of a fun watch it was. I think
Easy.
our little moments are very subjective, but because I feel like one little moment can be like a very big concept. But anyways,
Yeah.
I really like just how young and
That was
innocent,
so poetic.
how young and innocent the whole movie is kept. Like there's not any violence in it. I mean, we kind of get into how evil Jimmy probably was, but everything
Allegedly.
everything is just really mellow, and you get like this soft-heartedness from Tom Hanks. It's just a cute, really cute movie to watch, and just
Aw.
really wholesome takeaway.
Aw, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
I actually have a quote that's related to that I wanted to read out. But Tom Hanks, when he was asked about, the PG rating and why is this movie kind of so glossed over of, what was going on in the early 60s and culturally, and why there's no outright villain in that thing you do. Tom Hanks said that, I don't believe that guys are overtly evil and demonstrate how overtly evil they are. I like guys who are conflicted, who do things that are not pleasant, but everybody understands why. So that's why there's no, like, villain in this movie. Tom was like, I don't want that. I don't believe in that.
Jimmy's probably the closest thing you get to a villain, right?
Yeah.
In this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like you said, at the end, you understand where Jimmy's coming from as well. We didn't talk about Jimmy a lot. Did you have you had any like Jimmy moments as a musician, Dan, or do you find him like relatable, or do you find him as just like a despicable character? Like where do you land on Jimmy?
I mean, he's definitely a dick. But I have been Jimmy for sure. I have had Jimmy moments in my life. So I can relate to him, and it is something like, it is something you watch and go like, damn, I have done that, and hopefully I don't do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just like when he's rude to Liv Tyler, stuff like that, like, kind of ignoring
Tough.
her. And something I noticed this time around, and through all the research and stuff, is like that character's like constantly in his head. Something I never really picked up on is like he's always writing in the book. He's always looking off in a different direction. He's always like he's always writing a song or thinking about a song, or
And he asks constantly, like, okay, this is all cool, this is sweet, this is good, whatever. When are we recording again?
Right.
Like, chop. Like, he's always trying to move the band forward and to push his creativity forward. So Jimmy's an asshole, but I do also understand a little bit more this time around, now that I'm grown.
Yeah.
Like, where he's coming from.
You get that it's like
he's an ambitious guy.
all about his art. It's all about his art, and he doesn't know how to like handle people who are, in the way of him, thinking about his art or something.
Yeah, like that scene leading up to that big blowout with Liv Tyler when Lenny's asking him for money to go gambling to like hang out with this girl he just met that he ends up marrying out in Vegas, and he's so mad. He's like, what the fuck do you mean you want to go to Vegas? Like, I'm not giving you money for that. And then I love that it's such a character highlight, because then Lenny turns around and asks Guy, he's like, hey, can I have some money to go gambling? And he's like, sure.
Chump change.
Here's $200. Chump change. Like, it's not even, it just shows like such the imbalance personality wise between Guy and Jimmy, and how they were never going to work as like bandmates, as friends, as co-worker. Like, they don't jive. And I also did, like you said, Lindsay, I did find Tom Hanks's character like a little bit kind of sinister in the way that not sinister, but I felt like he played Guy against the other band members like a lot. He was like, you're the star, this your band. Like, he kept like putting this language in Guy's head about like, you need to wear shades because you're, that's your trademark, and like, this is you're the special one, you're the special boy, like, you're so smart, like all that stuff he's doing throughout this movie, not to break them up, but I think to kind of get around Jimmy, who's much more just straightforward, not susceptible to like flattery. He's like, whatever, man, get out of my face. When can I get in the studio? I have songs I wrote. And Guy's kind of more like, I mean, yeah, like, I am smart. Like, this is fun. Like, I do like this. I do want to go do a movie. I just thought the way he played these four boys against each other was a little sinister. I'd say he's the closest thing to a villain now that I'm looking back on it. I don't know. I just don't like it's a lot of like, he's like mind games.
Sure. No, it's a good point. You're right. Yeah. I never really thought about it, but you're absolutely right.
Like, just these little comments. And he's the one who also suggested that this is hella egregious, but also I get it. He's the one that suggested that Guy like steal Faye from Jimmy.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely the one that says they're engaged, right? It's Mr. White that does that, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I absolutely think so. And he let Faye take the fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely think, like, behind the scenes, he was like, yeah, put that up on the screen. And Jimmy fucking tweaked. Like,
which one of you butts says we're engaged?
And that's why you shouldn't be able to see yourself while you're performing.
That's right.
Because he saw that on the monitor and he was like, engaged. Oh yeah, I think there was a little string pulling behind the scenes there, that it was a good way to keep it innocent but still show, like you said, Lindsay, the like negative aspects of people in the music business and how they'll fuck you over. And I mean, he did kind of.
Never trust a label.
And then he gets to walk away and just be like, "Oh my God, what happened? That's so crazy."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he causes all this destruction. He's like, "But you, Jimmy, you needed to learn." It was interesting.
And then Jimmy goes on to work for Playtone.
Yeah, I saw that. I love that little tiny moment at the end where you see in the credits, he's like, or at the little summary at the end, he's like, he stayed on Playtone for a long fucking time and recorded many more albums on that label.
The Herdsman.
With the Herdsman.
The Herdsman.
That's right. So
terrible name though.
You know, maybe Jimmy's the hero.
Maybe. You know what?
He got everything he wanted. Justice for Jimmy, guys.
I think Jimmy needs a little bit of a redemption tour, because I don't know. I was looking at Mr. White sideways a lot more as an adult, because I haven't seen this movie probably since like high school, but I was looking at him crazy. I was like, why would you say that?
Yeah, like you're a grown adult.
Why would you tell him that? Also, before we wrap up, I just wanted to mention, this is like Charlize Theron's first movie.
Yeah.
Right. I don't trust her.
She was such a hater, dude. She was such a hater. Like, I get it. Guy is kind of annoying, but she was out from like the minute he got in that band. Like, that literally the first gig, she was like, I don't care about this.
She hates the talent.
The dentist subplot.
It.
Yeah, the dentist.
The dentist.
So funny.
All day at the dentist.
Apparently a lot of that was cut out, but
have either of you ever seen the long version of this movie? I never have either.
I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, I never have either. But there is like a 3-hour cut of this movie.
I wanted to ask you if you've seen it. I bet you it's probably on disc, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only seen this movie on TV until this most recent time. This is my first time ever streaming it or watching it without like commercials.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, ever. I was like, and that's the commercial break. And that's the commercial break.
You paused it and did your own commercials. And
yeah, pause. Like waiting for the like Burger King ad to show up. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, little baby Charlize in this movie. Apparently, she wanted the role of Faye, and they wouldn't give it to her.
Interesting.
They said she was too hot, basically, which is great. I mean, between Liv Tyler or Charlize Theron, what are we
talking about here?
What are we talking about? Like two of the most beautiful people who've ever existed. Yeah. They're like, Liv Tyler, she's a little more normal hot. She's a little more accessible. Charlize, get her out of here.
This is ridiculous.
She would never. It didn't make sense, but
that doctor's
I guess
pretty hot too, though.
He was. They were very like Barbie and Ken. They totally matched. But apparently she was a little salty and she really wanted Faye, and they were like, nah. So yeah. Sorry, Charlize, but it's okay. She's like crying into her Oscar now. Yeah. She did all right for herself.
Yes, she did. She made it into the Fast and Furious movies. Another thing we did when you came to visit was we went to the Fast and Furious house.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure I sent Lindsay that picture. I was like, Dad, take a picture of me in front of the Fast and Furious house, please. I squatted down.
It was awesome. There was already people there, too. We showed up. That was funny.
I know. We had to wait for other people to, like, pull out. I know the people who live in that house are fucking sick.
Oh, you know it.
They 12-foot fence, Lindsay. You cannot see into it anymore. You can't go in the driveway. They were like, get the fuck out of here. We're like... outside their house, and they were definitely home.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
They were definitely home. They were like, "Hey, look, take a picture." Hell yeah, we saw the Fast and Furious house. Oh God, I gotta go back out to LA.
Yeah, come on out.
I had so much fun, so fucking much fun out there. But yeah, so that is that thing you do. We're gonna wrap this one. God, that was smooth. It seems almost like a trick. I'm like, did I forget to do something? No. We're just really good at what we do.
Yeah.
Got a flow now.
We're in a flow. I know this always happens, and then we take like a long ass break over the summer, and then we come back and we're like,
How do you do this again?
Like,
So like,
how does, what am I talking about? So to wrap this up, Dan, do you have any recommendations for similar works?
Yeah. I think
You have an important
I have
one
a
here.
good one here. No, I think there's two movies that like. There's actually three. I thought of a third one while we were talking that I should have put in there.
Go for it.
But I think this movie and Spinal Tap are two movies that just completely nail what it's like to really be in bands. Especially Spinal Tap being on tour. It's like shocking how many real life Spinal Tap moments you run yourself into when you're in a touring band.
Every musician says
yeah,
that.
it's
They're
really
like,
shockingly
we've had
true.
our Spinal Tap moment like every day.
I have gotten lost on my way to a stage. I've had props not work on stage. I've had all that stuff. I had. It wasn't a wireless, but in Spinal Tap he's playing and then the wireless kicks on or whatever. I mean, that happened to me last night where I was like playing a solo and one of my fucking pedals stopped working and the guitar just went, got real quiet. That stuff happens all the time. So, a combination of that thing you do in Spinal Tap is like kind of pretty accurate as the, and I think the third one that you could throw in there if you really want to get, the full, complex circle of life that is the real life music industry would be Inside Llewyn Davis. Is a great movie that also nails it in the darker way.
I have not seen that one yet.
It's so good.
But I don't know why I love Oscar Isaac. I know it's going to depress me. I just need to face that, but I'm not ready. When Sleepless Cinematic was on for the musician draft, they mentioned Inside Llewyn Davis. I think one of them drafted Adam Driver's character in that movie.
It's so good.
That's a deep cut. I was like, who?
Outer
Okay.
Space. It's hilarious. You got to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, do you like Coen Brothers, like in general?
I love Coen Brothers.
Yeah. So this is definitely one of the darker, but also, I mean, it's also a very funny movie in classic Coen style. It's also a very funny movie, but sort of focused on the darker things that happen, like, being rejected by record labels, whatever, like doing a song and deciding not to take royalties and, things like that. They nail that. So this Spinal Tap, Inside Llewyn Davis, if you really want to know what it's like to be a working musician, these are three really good ones.
That's the holy trinity. Got it. What about you, Lindsay? What you got?
Well, I'll recommend Larry Crown just because it's another one of Tom Hanks' films I really like. And the best I come up with was The Rocker with Rainn Wilson. I love that movie.
That's a good one.
I can't remember which other I recommended for which other episode, but I have mentioned it before.
Yeah, that was the issue. We did earlier in the season. We did Elvis.
Oh, cool.
And we had a lot of recommendations on that episode because we did Elvis and Priscilla. So pretty much all of my recommendations are the same from that episode. So I didn't want to repeat them. So the only ones I came up with that were new or specific to this movie were Hairspray. I'm leaning towards the John Waters version. I don't know if I like the newer Hairspray. Have you ever seen it, Dan?
I didn't know, but it does look pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm an OG Hairspray lover, so the John Waters Hairspray, Almost Famous, of course, which, duh, we've talked about that a million times, and I think I also recommended that on the Elvis episode. And then American Graffiti, because it was such apparently like a big inspiration for Tom Hanks, and just a big touch point for like Americana nostalgia, just youth culture of I think is it set in the 60s or the 70s? I think it's set in the 60s, but it came out in the 70s. Unsure of the time period there. But anyway, I'm going to recommend American Graffiti on top of everything that we recommended in the Elvis episode, which I'll probably just double up on the Letterboxd recommendation list and link to that original list, because there's like 20 on there, like Rockstar.
I was just thinking about Rockstar.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna bring that up too, but I was like, no, I can't.
That movie's insane.
Marquita's gonna get mad at me. I can't talk about that.
I'm like, stop talking about that stupid movie, Lindsay.
Freaking love that movie.
You love it? I love it too. I have it on DVD.
Love that
man.
movie.
Come on.
Oh my God, Dan. Don't encourage this. But yeah, A Star is Born and all that shit. But they're all, like we said, much more dark, but related, the kind of probably more realistic version of what happens when you're young and famous and unsupervised, especially in a time where there was no internet. People were getting up to shenanigans. Right. So thanks, Dan, for coming on. This has been fucking wonderful.
Thank you guys for having me. It has been wonderful.
So cool to finally meet you.
Yeah, same here, Lindsay.
I know. Oh, I feel like my two pieces of my heart are like colliding right now. I'm like, oh, look at you two. Two of my favorite people.
Same. Thank you.
What are we doing for the next episode, Lindsay? You're going to close us out this time.
Okay. We are going to be covering In the Mood for Love. Really excited.
Oh, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I am ready to be devastated once more.
I don't think I've watched this since we saw it in theaters together.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. You got to lock in, baby.
Yeah.
It's a funny coincidence, Keita, is that I think the last time I saw you, you were on your way to go see that movie in the theaters.
That is so
Oh, I guess maybe that's not the last time I saw you, but it was one of the times I saw you.
No, that actually makes sense. Yeah, that would have been. What was I at your parents' house for? Was that
we met up in Raleigh? I was there to see Tony Levin. Actually, oddly enough, me and my dad went to go see Tony.
Lindsay, I saw Dan that night. That's right.
Wait,
that's right. We went and ate tacos with your dad, and I was like,
"Oh my
I gotta
God.
go to the movies."
Wait, I remember you talking about this. That's crazy. Oh my God, that is wild.
What a weird coincidence that here we are now.
Oh my God, that's right. Whoa,
that's crazy.
Life is fucking wild. Yes, that was. I saw you that night. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa. Anyway, worlds colliding. So yeah, we're doing In the Mood for Love.
It's like such a deja vu.
I know.
It's so weird.
Wow, great memory there. I cannot believe you recalled that. I would have had no idea what I saw, but it definitely that seems right, because it was like a little chilly out still, and I was like,
I remember you mentioning, you were like, yeah, I just got to meet or see my friend, and his dad was there too, and you got tacos. It was like those three things. I was like, yep.
That's
Dan.
So funny. Aww.
Well,
yeah, so
thanks everyone for listening. Please email us at postfilmclaritypod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at postfilmclaritypod. All episodes are closed captioned on our YouTube channel, and please follow us on Letterboxd at postfilmclarity. There's a list of recommendations and reference work from this and every episode.
And bye, honeys.
Bye.